Philadelphia 76ers. Now here's a team that a lot of things I've seen online just reflect pure ignorance of people when it comes to not just the NBA, I would say sports in general. Because yes, it's very easy to sit here and say, oh crap, the Sixers are going to be terrible this year. Yeah, that's not hard to tell, especially considering they're missing their first draft pick. They're missing a guy who they're very high on in Pierre Jackson, and they're starting with a lot of the same talent they've had for the last few seasons. But if you can't see what the Sixers are doing, and if you can't see the talent that they're stockpiling and what that could possibly lead to, then you obviously are not at all what I would consider NBA aware. Because yeah, it's easy to go and say, okay, if they're going to start Tony Roden with who's the center that they're going to start? With Henry Sims and whoever else. Oh, I said Pierre Jackson. That's who I'm high on. You know, the Sixers are missing Michael Carter-Williams for at least the first few months. So I just want to throw that in there. So they're going to start without Michael Carter-Williams. They're going to start without Joel Embiid. They're going to start without Pierre Jackson. Yeah, of course. They're going to be awful because they have to replace him with Tony Roten and Henry Sims and all that. But the thing is the team has Michael Carter-Williams. The team has Joel Embiid. The team has Noel Nerlens, who didn't play at all last year. So imagine a team that had their full complement of players. Michael Carter-Williams, Joel Embiid, Nerlens Noel. Imagine those dudes, just those three on defense alone. See, what people don't understand about Nerlens Noel and Joel Embiid, as opposed to, like, I was just talking about Aaron Gordon, these dudes are the same freakish athletes as a guy like Aaron Gordon. But these dudes are legit 7-footers. So you take these guys and you put them on the court together. Imagine that. And then you add a guy like Michael Carter-Williams, who can hound the perimeter player, your best ball handler, as well as probably anyone in the league. A guy who beat the Heat pretty much single-handedly in the first game last year. And then people want to sit there and say the Sixers suck. Yeah, they're going to suck because they don't have their players. But when they get all their players, they're going to be pretty goddamn amazing, in my opinion. So let's take a look here. Who do they have that makes me feel that way besides the ones that I mentioned? Well, there's a guy named KJ McDaniels who happened to fall to the second round. He probably would have been a mid-first rounder any other year, but this year's draft, there's tons of guys from the second round that can end up being much better than guys in the first round. And I think KJ McDaniels fits one of those roles. Here's a guy who averaged 2 blocks and 2 steals a game. He plays power forward, and he's only 6'8". This dude is a freak of nature. When you say freak of nature, you know, people say freak of nature. This guy's on a completely different level than when you usually say that even. It's insanity what this guy can do at his height. And he's so freakish and he has long arms that it translates to the NBA. You know, that's the difference. Let's see, who else? They picked up Drew Gordon, Aaron's brother, who could turn into a fantastic bench scorer. They're very lucky to have picked him up. Let's see here. Malcolm Lee, I'm high on him. Who knows how many minutes he'll get. Jay Rich is still around. Oh my goodness. And honestly, I think Tony Roten's still very interesting. And he's going to be a lot more exciting to watch than a ton of these other guys that are going to be on some of these bad teams. So the whole thing with the Sixers is it's kind of a wait-and-see attitude, except for one player right now, and that's Nerlens Noel. And if you watch Nerlens Noel this year, you're going to see a defensive revelation. You're going to be like, holy crap, is that Dwight Howard's son? But because this dude, like I was saying, he's a freak of nature athletically, and he's super long. But what really separates him from even Joel Embiid is the fact that he gets a ton of steals. And I really think that he's going to start something that, you know, teams are going to start looking for guys like Nerlens Noel when he starts showing all the steals that he gets. It doesn't make a lot of sense why a lot of these bigs don't get more steals, get the pass lane just by virtue of the long arms. This dude uses his length on defense in ways that is very unique, I think, and he's going to cause, just by himself, a ton of problems for teams this year. So it's worth watching just to see him. When Michael Carter-Williams comes back, it's worth watching just to see him. And next year, when they have Joel Embiid and Michael Carter-Williams and Pierre Jackson and Nerlens Noel and KJ McDaniel all playing together, then we're going to see some amazing basketball. But even this year, you should be able to see some of that Nerlens Noel, and when Michael Carter-Williams comes back. There is a lot of talent on this team, and they are really building something for the future. A lot like the Pelicans, actually. So, building what looks like towards what the Pelicans have become. So, very interesting to see how Nerlens Noel and Michael Carter-Williams play this year, and very interesting to see how they go, how they're building up for the next few seasons.